F1 update with Sasha Martinengo.
There is a lot going on in the world of Formula One, quite a few stories that we need to get through, and we'll get hold of him. Hopefully he's going to answer now. We've got Alejandro, of course, who's going to be joining us all the way from Spain to discuss some of these very, very, debatable topics that are going on in the world of Formula One. So, the thing that we want to start off with is from free practice this morning, and of course, it was the debut ride for the rookie Max Verstappen. And, I think Alejandro is there. Alejandro,
Hello, Sasha.
How are you, my friend?
Oh, very well. A fantastic day here in mainland Spain, but still awaiting a big storm in the weekend, just like the one that's going to happen in Japan. Or it's already happening, I think.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's a lot of stuff going on. Listen, we've got a lot to talk through. We'll leave Fernando Alonso until the end. But let's talk about Max Verstappen, his debut free practice session this morning. He's just turned 17. You got to say, he did a very, very good job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even though he said that he was running, let's say, in safe mode,
yes,
he went absolutely fabulous this morning, and without mistakes, with very good times, for just taking into account that it was his first day in Formula One, that he was earning his super license, and it surprised everybody because let's take this into account, and it is that he's been pressured by a lot of statesmen, especially from Helmut Marko, who compared Verstappen to Ayrton Senna. And you have to feel the pressure when someone says that. And if you're a 17-year-old, the more pressure you feel. So, and he did wonderfully well. He performed absolutely fantastic for the first day in Formula One.
I couldn't agree with you more. And also the fact that, now we have all of this banning of talking to the drivers. There are a lot of things he would have had to have learned very quickly on a modern Formula One car. And, to be 4/10 off the pace of Danny Kvyat, I think is an extraordinary debut for him. And I look forward to watching him racing next year, that's for sure.
That's just like you say, being Kvyat, the main driver in Toro Rosso, and just scoring only 0.4 of a second from the start of the team, just speaks wonders about your driving.
Yeah. Let's in the second free practice session, we had a couple of offs. Esteban Gutierrez went off, but I suppose the big casualty was Danny Ricciardo for Red Bull. So it just shows you that after this brilliant season he's had so far, he still is prone to making one or two mistakes. So maybe it was a good leveler for him.
Well, it has to happen sooner or later. I think that right now let's say that the atmosphere in Formula One, especially in Red Bull, is quite rare, and I think everybody's and Ricardo as well is feeling the pressure. And okay, well, it was not a very big shunt, but the car was quite damaged. And let's keep in mind that in these modern cars, when you have a crash, you don't only have an engine, you have a whole lot of electrical components and very, very quite key components that get damaged, and it takes a lot of time to repair and to calibrate as well. And the car was suffered a lot in the front and on the side as well. Still, Red Bull mechanics, I think they're going to perform a very good task, even though, as far as we all know, Red Bull fired a key mechanic yesterday afternoon.
Ah, that I was unaware of.
Oh, yes. It was Vettel key mechanic, and that was actually in Japan. His name is Kama. That's his last name. Okay, just Helmut Marko, without any press release, just he went on to the press saying the guy doesn't belong to this team anymore, even though he's in Japan, but he is not going to take part of this race.
Wow.
And Yes, and that opens a door because let's say if you resign from a team,
Hmm.
okay, you have to pay what's called a gardening leave, something like 6 months
Yes,
without
without, yeah.
doing anything related to Formula One. But if they fire you, that's completely different. You're free to go everywhere with all the secrets with you as well.
Well, I tell you that's going to be quite interesting when we get to our final story. Alejandro, in terms of today's pace, I mean, Mercedes, as we've seen the whole season, have been quite dominant. But I must tell you, I think Mercedes have said, listen, we've been playing with you most of the season, and today we're going to put down the hammer a little bit. I'm just quite amazed at the gap that they have over everyone else in these two free practice sessions, and I don't even think they were really pushing. I'm quite concerned about this this massive domination that they have over everyone else.
Just like you say, absolutely, because we were used to some free practice 1 and 2, seeing, for example, Alonso on top in many races and then dropping out. And then Mercedes in third, fourth place until qualification, just like if they were, let's say, sandbagging, if you
Yeah,
allow me to do it.
yeah.
But today we just saw Hamilton just 2.4 tenths of a seconds above Rosberg, but then the third, which is Valtteri Bottas,
Yeah.
just 1.2 seconds behind. The fourth, Jenson Button, 1.3 seconds, as
Yeah.
well as Sebastian Vettel and all the rest. That is, you have a more than 1 second difference, more than 1 second gap in free practice. That's just like you say, it's showdown. Let's play with all the cards. And okay, just play, just dance.
Yeah, we'll show you who's boss. That's for sure. Alejandro, the big story that has come out this morning, basically saying Fernando Alonso and Ferrari heading for a split. Where there's smoke, there's fire. You've got to believe that Honda have dangled a very big carrot in front of McLaren and in front of Fernando Alonso, and perhaps maybe Ferrari don't want to match that in terms of the money, or Fernando just believes that he's got a better option going back to McLaren.
Well, just taking only the facts, it is that Fernando Alonso in 2015, the only thing he has to do is invest, because I don't think there's going to be a room for him in Mercedes. First of all,
Yeah.
so that leaves him in any other teams besides Mercedes. So he can invest in Ferrari. He has to, if he stays, he has to invest in Ferrari. If he goes to McLaren, he has to invest in the new McLaren Honda team. Let's say, I think it's quite impossible, but if he goes to Red Bull, okay, well, he has to invest because they have to catch up with Mercedes.
Yeah.
So it's he has to bet somehow.
Yeah.
There's no other choice for him. And regarding all this, let's say that okay, the Alonso Ferrari affair is just a snowball that started rolling years ago and now became so big that it's going to hit many people.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Fernando Alonso holds a trump card because he could go to McLaren, which means that you've got to believe that Jenson Button will most probably lose his position. But then there's a seat at Ferrari, and then you've got the likes of Jules Bianchi, you've got maybe Grosjean, you've got Hulkenberg, but then you've also got Vettel, who's not overly happy with the way Red Bull's going, so he could go to Ferrari. Then you got a space open up at Red Bull. So until the story is clarified. But, you know, if it comes out of Autosport, you got to believe that there's quite a lot of truth in it. And it looks like Fernando will leave Ferrari.
Yes. And, okay, let's... just like you say, you have to believe Autosport, you have to believe John Noble, because, you know, quite serious writers. And, but let's put this, Ferrari is investing. And, okay, do you remember Sebastian Vettel being upset because of his car performance?
That's correct.
Okay, would you imagine Sebastian Vettel complaining about the car performance in Ferrari? That's going to be funny.
Well, you know what? If there were other people in charge, I would say it's quite funny. I still I still have the verdict out on Michael Mattiacci and what he actually does at Ferrari. I really am not sure what his position is. I'm quite confused. And also, we still got to wait until 10 days before Luca de Montezemolo actually leaves his position. So there are some really big decisions being made by people who, I'll be honest, I don't have the greatest faith in.
No, just like you say, it's all. Let's say Ferrari is okay. Maybe the color of Ferrari is red, but it's some kind of a black box. You don't know what's inside, and it's quite different from other teams like for maybe McLaren or even Red Bull, because every time, or Mercedes, because let's take a small parallel between Mercedes and Ferrari. We had a lot of gossip going around Hamilton, Rosberg mistakes, and maybe plots. And you always had a press release. You always had a statement from the team explaining everything, just quite being transparent. But in Ferrari's case, the only thing you have is rumors going around, and actually no one going across them, especially from the team itself and from the company as well.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. As I said, over the last couple of weeks, I think they made a big error in getting rid of Domenicali, but, that's past. They've got to move forward. But it is the big story. Final thing, Alejandro, this weekend, there's a big chance of rain this coming weekend, but you got to believe the fight is definitely still going to be Nico versus Lewis.
Oh, yes. Well, yes, it's going to be Nico versus Lewis, because Lewis has the upper hand. Let's say all these free practices, I take them as, let's say, it's some kind of a psychological war where Rosberg is going to set a time and Hamilton is going to smash it, no matter what it takes. And it's going to carry on until Sunday. Regarding the weather, it is expected that the typhoon, Fanfan, is not going to hit the race maybe later. We're just going to make the packing and moving and the flight as well, a complete nightmare. Let's hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't happen. I mean, there's even rumor that it might even make its way to Russia. So let's hope that doesn't happen either. Let's hope for a great race. And you know what? And let's hope with all the speculation ends very quickly and we actually know who's going to be racing for whom in 2015. So we can get on with enjoying the rest of the season.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's going to be a very hot season because we had a very good battle in the front, but all the remaining places we have a duel this Sunday with Ferrari in the racing side. Just leave the gossip beside, and it's going to be okay. Williams is bringing some upgrades. Ferrari is bringing some upgrades. Let's see who wins. Because let's don't only pay attention to the front, because behind them there's a lot of going on, and it's going to be fantastic to watch.
It's going to be a great race, Alejandro. Always great to speak to you, my friend. Enjoy the race, and I'm sure we'll catch up next week, maybe before Russia.
Okay, just a little quick one before I leave. First of all, hi to all your audience, and special hi to the gorgeous Serena, which is listening to us as far away as Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, great to have her listening. I hope she enjoyed the show.
All right. We'll be listening, and whatever you want, I'm here.
Sasha, all right, Alejandro, look after yourself. Take care.
You too, mate. Cheers.
Hey, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go. Having a look at the world of Formula One. Loads of things going on at the moment, and we'll put that up for you on video in a short while as well. So maybe pass it on to those who haven't heard all of the big news and can see maybe what some of the permutations are for the likes of Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, Jenson Button. Who knows? There could be 10, 12 drivers that could be affected by one person's decision. Quite extraordinary.
The F1 update with Sasha Martinengo.